have you forsaken me? Forsaken me, forsaken me. Oh God, have you forsaken me? Forsaken me. My God, have you forsaken me? Forsaken me, forsaken me. My God, have you forsaken me? Forsaken me, forsaken me.
There was a time in my life when I really thought that God has forsaken me many times. But there's one point in my life that, oh Lord, have you really forsaken me? When we immigrated here in Canada almost 11 years ago, there was a point in my life that I wanted to go back home. Because I was a finance manager or accounting department manager back home. I handled people, and then here I was nothing. My first job here in Canada is the foundation construction. I I get all those soil, bring it up, and then that's just my job. I cried to God. It was a struggle. I had to start from scratch, and it's not easy, and many of you could relate to that. We don't have a family here. Ron and I don't have a family here, and we knew few people, and we had to find our way up. I felt that God has, have you forsaken me? I felt so hopeless. I felt so helpless. There was no joy in me, no direction, no plan, and just full of emptiness in my heart that I just wanted to give up and go home. And since I was discouraged personally, our marriage was also affected. There was fighting. There was yelling. And that's not, we don't fight. We don't have a cold war. We don't keep quiet. I'm confrontational. Ron is not confrontational. And since that time, when we got here, we're just renting a room at the second floor, and we can't shout. Okay? You have to keep your voice down because the other person or the other room will hear us. So we had to drive and then get in the car, and then we'll just fight there, yelling in the car and all. I remember one time we went to Anthony Hende. We were driving, and I just pulled over because I can't take it anymore. I went on the car, I slammed the door, boom, and I walk. And it's Anthony Hende. I was like, where should I go? I went back to the car. And then we fight there again and again and again. And I have no choice but to just get out these frustrations and me. But seriously, there was a time in my life where I just want to crash the car and to just end all this misery. There was yelling. There was shouting. There was blaming. There was accusing. There was condemning, to the point that my wife, Rowan, wanted to file a divorce. Because she just tired of dealing with a person like me. And as we continue to find our way to settle here in Canada, feeling that God has forsaken us, we met many people who had the same experiences as ours. Some are not only dealing with all personal struggles, not only struggling with their marriages, but also with their whole family. I've seen kids who are so disrespectful. I've seen kids who are so rebellious to their parents. They're so nice to their friends, but when they get to their parents, they're so rude to their parents. I have met parents and counseled parents that are just on the brink of giving up because they just can't handle the stress and the disrespectful attitude of their kids. I have met people complaining about their work, the toxic environment that they're in. I have met people that have to deal with their abusive boss and to deal with all the gossip that they have at work. They want to quit, but they have no choice because they have to pay for their family and they have to to pay for the bills and to have to bring food for their family. Then I asked at one point, God, why? Why have you forsaken us? Why we have to go through all these things in life? Why the pain and suffering are just so heavy to bear? And why? Why? Then I remember Jesus gave an amazing promise when he was talking to his disciples, when he was sharing about being a good shepherd. It's all about him. As a good shepherd, he takes good care of the sheep, of his sheep. While he was talking about being a good shepherd, he said these things, and this is the heartbeat of Jesus. He said, I came so everyone would have life. Not only life, but a life to live a life to the fullest. And as I remember this promise of Jesus, I was like, oh Lord, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. You said you promised this and you said that we will have life. But why? Why these things are happening? Why the other people that I met are experiencing the other way around? You came that we might have life and live life to the fullest. Then why we are experiencing this very thing in life? It doesn't make sense. Until I realized that it is not Jesus, nor his promises were the problem. It was me. I know Jesus. I knew Jesus with my head, but not with my heart. I heard about Jesus. I go to church. I listen to him, but it's not really that deep. I know him by theory, but I don't know him in actuality and in reality. I just heard about him, but I'm not taking him seriously. I have not really surrendered my life to him that day, that part of my life. So as I realized how to experience this promise, Lord, and Jesus, I realized I have to recommit. I have to know Jesus, not on the shallow level, but in a deeper level. So I started to recommit my life to Jesus. I started to know him. I started to know him deeper and deeper and deeper. I started to know his promises and his character. And the more I know Jesus, the more I fall in love with Jesus. Then I found myself, as I know Jesus, his character, his promises, his desire for my life, and I started to follow him. And I'm not following him from a distance, but I'm following him closer and closer and closer. And the closer I follow Jesus, the more I hear Jesus loud and clear. As I know Jesus, not from my head, but also from my heart, and follow him closer and closer, he became so real to me that I found myself started growing into his likeness. Then I experienced Jesus, his awesomeness, his amazing grace. The once hopeless man became hopeful. The once useless man became useful. The once helpless man became helpful. The once depressed man like me, I used to be, became cheerful. Then it made sense. Everything made sense. He truly gave life. He truly gave life and live that he desires us to live life to the fullest. His promises are true. He never fails. Until I surrender my life to Him, know Him, follow Him, and grow to His likeness, I slowly and surely experience His promises. The ball is actually on us. To experience the promise of Jesus of life to the fullest, it's really up to us. If we commit to know Him, to follow Him, and to grow in His likeness. Friends, this is what I want to tell you. This is the heartbeat of Jesus, to give us life and live life to the fullest. This is His desire for your life. This is the reason why Jesus came to earth, so that we can experience life and live life to the full. To give us hope, to give us bright future, to give us satisfaction and fulfillment in life. He never desires for us to experience a miserable life. He never wanted us to be depressed. He never wanted us to have conflict-filled family, dysfunctional family. Jesus came so that we might have life and have it to the full. This is real. It's just up to us to experience this promise. You and I should know Him, follow Him, and grow in His likeness. Now, since this is the heartbeat of Jesus, let me tell you straight. This is the heartbeat of Life Community Church. We long to see a community of Jesus followers experiencing life to the fullest. This is our vision. This is the reason we exist as a church. We don't exist as a church just to go to church every Sunday. We don't exist in the church just to have a community, to have a club, to just have some fun and joy, and just to have feeling of belongingness. We are a community. This church exists because we long to see a community of Jesus followers that are not depressed. We long to see that people will have a growing and intimate relationship in their family relationship. Because God desires for us is to experience life to the full. So we in LCC, this is the heartbeat of this church. What do I mean by this? We long to see people joyful and hopeful, not hopeless. We long to see people that are useful and helpful, and there's joy in their hearts in serving God and not depressed. We long to see people striving in every aspect, growing in every aspect of their lives. We long to see marriages that are growing in love, and there's unity and harmony in the families. We long to see families where children will respect their parents, the husband lead the wife, the husband love the family, and the wives will love and support the husband. We long to see people that are serving, caring, loving one another. This is the heartbeat of this church. This is the reason I wake up every morning. And this is the reason your servant leaders wake up every morning, because they want to see people will experience the best of life in Jesus. We long to see a community where there is positiveness. We long to see there is kindness, joyfulness, and liveliness in life. This is only possible if we know Jesus. This is only possible if we know Jesus not only with our minds but with all of our hearts. Without any excuses. This is only possible if we follow and grow like Jesus. Following Him not from afar, following Him closer and closer, so that we will grow in His likeness and will not entertain our sinful nature. That's why in LCC, we lead to inspire people to know, follow, and grow like Jesus. This is what we long to see. That's why we are doing this in everything we do here in LCC. Because we believe this is the way. In fact, this is the only way to experience life, to know Jesus, follow Jesus, and grow like Jesus. So if I may suggest, for all of you, if you want to experience a life to the full, as Jesus has promised for us, you better start knowing Him with all your mind and with all your heart. You better start following Him, not from a distance, but from His side. You started growing in His likeness so that you will not entertain the desire of your flesh. So what I have established so far, what is the problem today? The problem with people today, they're living a miserable life. People are not living life to the fullest. You know this. I've seen this. I've experienced this. You probably experienced this. That here in Canada, you go to work, you go home. You go to work, you go home. There's no life balance. What happened? People get depressed. People get tired. The same thing the following morning. And then of the afternoon, go home, prepare a meal, and then after a meal, sleep. And then wake up the following morning again and going. What cycle? That is not the kind of life that Jesus wants us to live. And that is the problem that we want to address here in this church. We, as a church, we must lead and inspire people to know Jesus, follow Jesus, and grow like Jesus, because we don't want them to experience that kind of life, but we want them to experience life to the fullest. I'm telling you, in LCC, all our volunteers, all our servant leaders, all our life group leaders, one life group leaders came to me, you know what, Pastor Jeff, if it's just me, we're already tired at work. Why would I invite people to our house? But you know what? There's unexplainable joy, and there's just amazing feeling in my heart that I experience God whenever I make our house available for people. They're tired. They came from night shift, but you know what? They would go and serve people. And that is the reason why we exist as a church. This is the heartbeat of LCC. I'm telling you, I long to see that no new person here immigrated in Canada that will experience depression, that will experience despair. I long to see that there's no conflict in the marriage relationship. Of course, conflict is unavoidable. It will come anytime. But what I'm trying to say is, while there is conflict, there is an intentional work that every marriage will do in order for them to grow. I long to see people will experience the best of life in Jesus. And that's why we in this church will lead and inspire people to know, follow, and grow like Jesus, because this is the only way for us to experience this. This is the heartbeat of LCC.
The world is broken. And people are hurting. They're carrying years of past regrets, failures, and pain. They're lost in a fog of lies, disillusioned by what the world says is happiness. They've fallen into the trap of sin, desperate to become the good person they want to be, but powerless to change. Burdened, angry, and helpless. But when we, the church, the hands of Jesus, reach out to the heavy-hearted, when we, the feet of Jesus, run to the fallen, when we remove our insecurities and let the light of Christ shine bright in the darkness, God moves. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love. And when we truly believe this, freedom is found. Minds are renewed and hearts are healed. God moves when we step out in faith, when we let go of our time, our talents, and our treasure. God moves when we, the church, go all in.
LCC, church, we have to go all in. We have to go all in as a church. I want to encourage all of you to make this your heartbeat too. This is the heartbeat of Jesus. He came that we might have life and have it to the full. What is that kind of life? That's life is amazing. There may be problem, but you know what? We can navigate through problems. There may be testing, but you know what? We grow through testing. There may be conflict, but you know what? There is a reconciliation, and that makes our relationship stronger. The heartbeat of Jesus is for us to experience the best of life and to live life to the full. The heartbeat of this church is the same thing. We long to see a community of Jesus followers experiencing life to the fullest. And I'm encouraging you that this heartbeat would be yours too. That people will experience Jesus to the full. I embrace this vision personally. I embrace this in my heart. This is the reason we wake up. This is the reason our kids are involved. Nico, as early as 3, he would ask, Dad, who's coming to our house? He knows. Oh, no? How about he could mention names now? Because this is the reason we serve God. We lead and inspire people to know, follow, and grow like Jesus. And as we embrace this in our family, in our marriage, personally, I have witnessed transformed lives. I've seen depressed, suicidal people found purpose and meaning in Jesus. I've seen people who almost kill themselves, but found meaning and purpose in Jesus. I've seen marriages on the brink of divorce. I'm filing divorce next week. I'm done with our marriage. I'm done with this person. I'm done with this person. I've seen how they get reconciled and grow and love with Jesus. I have seen family, dysfunctional family, are now living in harmony and exemplifying the character of Jesus. I've been through worse in life, I'm telling you. You know our story. And I've seen the worst of life. And I don't want people to experience that. I want to take this heartbeat of Jesus personally. And I became a living witness that only Jesus is the source of life, and in Him alone we can experience life to the full. So I'm encouraging each of you to make LCC's vision a personal matter to you. Let me do this as we end. Those of you who are happy or blessed because you're part of this LCC family. Okay, no pressure. I don't want you to do what I ask you to do if you don't feel the same thing like me. For those of you who are blessed because you've seen the growth of this church and you're part of this church, can you stand up with me? those of you who are blessed. Visitors, guests, stay seated. It's okay. Including those of you who are blessed because someone invited you to Life Community Church. And now you are part of this family. Someone invited you, you were hesitant, I don't want to go, but you know what? I'm so thankful because, wow, they invited me and now I'm part of this family. No pressure, please, no pressure. If you're here for the first time, no pressure. Please stay seated if you're here for the first time or second time. But if you're here and you're happy and blessed because people just invited you and part of this family. Now I want to encourage you. These people are growing. Make this your heartbeat too. This is the heartbeat of Jesus. And this must be our heartbeat as a church. To lead, to see people experience life to the fullest. That is why we are leading and inspiring people to know, follow, and grow like Jesus. And for those of you who are invited because you're hesitant before, but now let me check LCC. I want you to tell you the reason you are invited. Because the person that invited you cares for you, loves you. And I encourage you to pass this forward. I encourage you to love, encourage you to lead and inspire people. Invite your friends, invite your loved ones, invite your relatives, so that they will experience this. Only in Jesus that they can experience this. You and I have the responsibility. Let's lead them by example. Inspire them so that they will experience life to the fullest. Now listen to me. Those of you who are our guests, those of you who are here in LCC for the first time, second time, third time, we desire, we pray, and we long that like us, you would experience Jesus. You would experience the best of life in Jesus. And these people standing in front of you, behind you, by your side, we commit to lead you, inspire you to know Jesus, follow Jesus, and grow like Jesus. And for all of us here, standing, and those of you who are sitting, let me tell you this, listen. Choose Jesus no matter how hard life could be. Choose Jesus because there is nothing in this world better than Him. Don't you ever run away from Jesus. Don't you ever reject Jesus in your life. Because only in Jesus you can experience life. Life to the full. So I pray, if you're here not on a regular basis, you're here seasonal, come on, I want to invite you. Let's know Jesus together, follow Jesus together, and let's grow together into His likeness, because nothing in this world is better than Him. Religion cannot save you. LCC cannot save you. We cannot give you the best of life. Only Jesus can. We are just instrument to lead and inspire you to know, follow, and grow like Jesus. So I pray, those of you are sitting and those of you are standing, I pray that each of you will experience the best of life in Jesus to the fullest. That is only possible if we know Him with all our mind and heart. If we follow Him not from afar, but closer. If we grow in His likeness, then we can experience. Then we can experience the life that Jesus has promised. Happy anniversary. This is the heartbeat of Jesus. This is the heartbeat of LCC. Make this your heartbeat too. And I'm telling you, your life will never be the same again, just as how Jesus has changed my life.